And you just listened to a young girl who was saying that the Nigerian community here is totally very angry. Covers all the aspects and various techniques of our development.
Was the Ijaw country of the Niger Delta of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He went to several schools. His major academic genesis was at the government college, Ujeli.
Go gather, destroy their food. With the waiting camp and that other camp, some more camp. You don't compensate everybody.
In its key generation sometimes. Today our focus will be in the style of T.C. Clark, a poet and writer, and we shall also be very interested in his point Afro dancer.
Some lives are meaningful, some are empty. Lives that are meaningful, with too much meaning and riches to offer humankind. Long after some of these earthly adventures and more, one can still find footprints of these great lives on the pavements of our contemporary life.
Good evening, you're welcome to the program Green Planet.
Today organizing this seminar on Afghan for the sustainable strategy for development. One way really objective with carrying out this initiative, please.
The first thing, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk about the conference on sustainable strategies and practices for development. Firstly, I think sustainability is a very contemporary term, and it translates itself in many dimensions of life. But then a lot of projects have been failing. If you've come across the literature of Go and Mo's since 1988, you will know that projects have been failing, and also that people have a lot of capabilities that are not mapped, and it is this mapping that actually is necessary in a continent like Africa that is facing a void in terms of development management. So the intention is to be able to get strategies from people who are down there and to create trajectories in development in order to create a framework that can be usable by different stakeholders in life in order to arrive at sustainable development. Because, as I said earlier on, projects have been failing, and poverty has persisted. There are vertical and horizontal inequalities in Africa that need to be redressed, and the best way is to work in synergy with development stakeholders from different angles of society in order to arrive at a development that's going to be more meaningful for society and long term.
Okay, thank you very much, and I hope this is going to be a success. I wish you the best. And
yes, you can see from the participation and the presence of traditional groups and different stakeholders from diverse CIGs, CBOs, and NGOs that is going to be a very befitting conference and workshop, and we are going to ride home with a package that is going to be usable in all the parts of the world. Thank you very much.
okay, thank you also. You're welcome.
Good day.
Good day, Mr. Arrey.
Thank you very much for talking to the African Center for Community and Development, and welcome to the conference on sustainable strategies for development. What is your impression about this conference?
Yeah, Mr. Arrey, I think it's my pleasure quite well to be a participant or to present the paper onto this program, and I think it will be quite lucrative for your own objective as well. We are here to support and to see how it will move on.
What is your name?
Benjamin Jainjomi for the FAAFNET CIG.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good day.
Good day.
Thank you very much for talking to the African Center for Community and Development. What is your name, sir?
Tanunga Alexander, Program Director of FENDEGG, Foundation for Environment Development and Good Governance, with headquarters in Limbe.
You're welcome to the conference on sustainable strategies and practices for development. What is your impression?
In fact, I think it's a wonderful idea. What we have discovered is that we keep on carrying out a lot of ventures, but people do not actually care whether the methods and approaches they are using, whether they are really sustainable. So if we have an opportunity like this where many stakeholders come and sit down and share their experiences on sustainable strategies and good practices for development, then I think it's wonderful, and I think it's going to carry us forward.
Okay, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy your participation and time here.
It will be wonderful. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Participants at the conference on sustainable strategies and practices for development.
Well, I am Barrister Arrey Mbongaya, and a Limbe-based advocate. The whole idea is good because finding ourselves in a developing country like Cameroon, the bedrock of information dispensation is seminars, and so the seminar is there to gather researches and opinions of people for dissemination. So globally, I think I very much appreciate the seminar as a whole, and especially the topic. What I would find as an observation is the level of understanding. But for now, I cannot very much appreciate that because we've not had a workshop in the course of the seminar. But I think that from the reactions of the audience, a lot of the participants are understanding what it is all about. Sustainability is all what we all engage for. And if a seminar like this is coming, is to foster the ideas of the participants. I was here on time. As we all know, time is of essence. Time is money, time is everything. We wait for nobody. And I'm happy I was not the very first person here. I met persons here. It means that Cameroonians are becoming time conscious and duty conscious, and are becoming equally sensible. So, generally speaking, they say when there is hope, there is life. So I cannot have expectations and greater expectations. We're all here for one thing, and we are realizing the goal. From the turnout, you can see that the expectations have been met.
So enriching. All that was taught was very important for the society. And what I actually fell in love with, that I desire so much, was the Plan program. So it was so interesting. So it is, though it is something that will take years, but it is good. I'm interested in that because it is a plan that lasts for lifetime. So if we can take 3 years to get farm area that will last for lifetime, to me the 3 years is nothing. So it's something very interesting that if we can carry back to our groups and teach our people how to plant arrow, how to grow arrow, and it will be something very enriching for the nation, because when you do it, it's not just for you. You will die and children will go to still cultivate and still do harvesting in these arrow farms, and the nation will continue to have jobs for the even those who are not able to work in the other offices that are not farming. So, like the arrow, as I learned, it has a lot of areas that you can employ people, because you need to harvest it and you wash, you package, all those things. It needs people that you can employ to work on that. So arrow, I fell in love with it because I feel it can employ more others, jobless people outside there. So, I'm willing to go back and share with them what I've learned here, all the technologies of others, farming, money, rain, and all. Then from it we can pick what we can do, because we are interested in that, because we go close to people that their problems are like the sea, and our help to them is just like a drop of water that cannot even make a change. So we need practical things like this that we can do, so that in future we'll be able to help these people. We go to the destitute and then we discover that their needs are very big and our help is small. So when we discover this, we also try by going to Douala and buying some beads and producing necklaces and earrings, phone bags, and we sell them so that we can have some income that we can help even some children that are not, their parents are not able to sponsor them at school. So now we also look how we can get into farming of all that I've learned here. So I'm going to share with them all the things that I have learned here. So from it we will pick what will be at our disposal that we can do.
It was so interesting because we had 8 interesting presentations from 8 different speakers who like kind of really expanded our minds, our ideas on how we can develop, not only develop, but developing in a sustainable manner. And I would really like to laud the efforts of the organizers of such conferences, and we just pray that more conferences like this should be organized. Development means progress. Progress, moving from one stage to the next. When I say progress, I mean progress in the positive sense of things. And really, to me, the steps that can bring about development, I think the most important is hard work, determination, and courage. And I think if you listen to the presenters of yesterday, they really highlighted these points on how one can develop, not only an individual, or not development from the individual point of view, but development as far as Cameroon and Africa is concerned.
And with sustainable development, everything comes into play. You have to identify the key stakeholders in the development process. They have to be involved. People have to participate, contribute to the least manner. Because if we all don't come together to work towards achieving something, it's possible that we may never get there. There's this African saying that one hand can never tie one. It needs the hands of everybody. Like we say, participation is the key.
Thank you. I think I was very, very impressed yesterday with the turnout of the conference. The number and quality of participants actually impressed me enormously. I am a civil society operator, and actually I am into road construction and public works. That is my domain of operation, but I am also into other small businesses. So a conference like this to me offered a very good opportunity for me to share my experiences and also appreciate the contributions of all the other participants. I think to me the beginning yesterday was a very fruitful, and I would like to encourage the director of African Center for Community and Development to multiply his efforts in this direction. And I think it's a very commendable effort. It's a laudable initiative. If I were given the strata to advise the director of African Center for Community and Development, I think that I will encourage him to multiply, because CIGs, private initiatives, individual business efforts, and other stakeholders in the development process constitute the basis for which every meaningful development can be based. So I will encourage him to identify and visit more CIGs, NGOs, resource personalities and stakeholders in the development process to get their views, so that he might increase his spectrum, his ability and knowledge in this sustainable effort to continue to sustain life in Cameroon.
I think the one went very well, and we had presentations we had over 8 presentations from stakeholders. We had people talk about the way forward in the organizations, and we are now to present other papers. We're going to be having a presentation from the Limbe Wildlife Center. We're also going to be having presentations from another youth NGO and a couple of other stakeholders, including a women's group on cassava flour. And we shall be now getting to work in committees, and we are going to be divided into 5 committees, and we shall be coming up with inputs on sustainable strategies for development. And at the end of the day, we are going to have a framework and a working synergy between stakeholders in this part of the world, and with possibilities of reaching out with other stakeholders in Africa and beyond. So I think today is a very important day in the seminar, and I know we shall be having very positive exchanges from the delegates as well. I think the anxiety was very high, and we touched a lot of different sub-themes that came up because of the theme of the conference. I mean, Cameroonians heard about Eru, and you know, Eru is important not only to Cameroon but to the whole of the Central African region and to Nigeria, where it is facing threats. We heard things about edible frogs and the possibility of sustaining livelihoods and using them as a livelihood tool, and also to supplement scarce red meat. We also had presentations on land tenure and sustainability, and you know, most people have problems acquiring lands and also to secure the lands. We had a lot of information on strategies that were done by bee farmers and during the BDCDs and the Mount Cameroon Forest Project and a couple of other stakeholders. And we had strategies on urban sustainable strategies and so on. So I think in a whole, we had a very broad-based representation and participation here, as well as we had a dose of music from very talented local-based artists as well as traditional dance groups that has given the conference a full African as well as international standard, because the traditional groups were coming from the Northwest, from the Manu Division, from Fako, and so on. So in a way, we had Cameroon in miniature here, because stakeholders came from organizations with diverse cultural backgrounds and organizational backgrounds, as well as participants who came to support the organization. And it was very interactive because people questioned the presenters on their papers, and we had a very heated debate here, and I think the one has really shaped what we are going to be expecting today.
One last question, Mr. Director. Looking at you, you are dressed even European, but not forgetting the culture. What link has the culture of African to community and development?
Well, the African is intrinsically and extrinsically a community man, and dressing is a very important and integral part of that community look. So in a way, you have to showcase your community dedication by looking African, while understanding that we also have some interferences from other places in the world. Yesterday I was absolutely very African, you know, but today I got a touch of Western influence.
European?
But then, don't forget,
this
is African.
Yeah.
First thing is, if you don't think development, you can't act development. And stakeholders many times are into development but have not documented their development strategies, and we cannot borrow from them to replicate it in other parts of the country, to vulgarize development so that it's affecting many more stakeholders around the country. So if you bring people who are into development strategies that are disjointed, then you have a more bigger framework to operate or to borrow from. And society cannot work on disjointed principles. We are a nation, and a nation with organizations that are working. And so we need to understand what they are working in order to have a big picture of how we can design interventions that will affect a bigger aspect of the society. So it is to fill in the void in this sector that I believe we have, that I decided to bring together people of different walks of life and different organizations in order to do things the way modern societies work, in collaboration, in partnership, in bottom-top participatory processes for development. So I think that is the basics of this, and I hope that with these, people are going to be able to replicate these inputs in their own organizations and in their communities as well.
Thank you.
I'm Kate Foletian, the founder and the president of Women's Orientation Association, a grassroots-based organization with its objectives to educate, train and empower women with creative, innovative skills, and bring these women to the level of in-depth specialization, entrepreneurship and partnership development. I was very pleased with what took place here yesterday. It was more than my expectation, because I have attended many other conferences, but I have never been opportune to be in a strategic planning seminar like this, where the ideas that I've always have in mind were tabled. So I saw that I'm not the only person who is thinking of the betterness of Cameroon. There were more young people with great ideas, and to see how Cameroon can move forward. I was very pleased. We are going to have our own planning meeting soonest, and I am going to tell them everything we have studied here, and I am going to do a committee like we are going to do today. I'm also planning to organize my own committees to make sure that whatever is learned here is given to them. As we work to the general public and with the women empowerment and other social groups, I expect it's my responsibility to transfer this information to them.
Well, I'm Matilda Valinde, manager Forest House in my first Sample Junction. Yesterday's workshop was a well-attended workshop with the cultural display and resource person. You know, when you talk of sustainable development, it's a very key issue in Africa, and having the fact that young people have come together in different areas of life to give light to so many, topics that will be useful for us, our generation, and equally for the government to implement some of these policies and empower the populace. I think one of the issues initially was when you deal with people from a particular sector, but this conference and seminar cuts across all the sectors, the private sectors, the NGOs, the CIGs, the individual entrepreneurs. So we all go to our different areas of our different locations and try to disseminate this information, and especially with this area of communication. I think with the internet, cell phone and everything, information will be disseminated more. And having the fact that you have young and vibrant women and men who are ready to take a step forward and implement these policies of development. Yeah, the first thing as a manager, once I come for such seminars and workshops, the first thing I do once I get back to my institution, I call my staff, we have a meeting, we have a briefing, and follow up on areas of interest. And I expect that every other participant who has come here should do likewise and follow up. Then at the same time, we liaise with the organizer of this conference for further collaboration and work in our society.
This has been Arrey Ivo for the African Center for Community and Development. I have been reporting on the conference on sustainable strategies and practices for development, and on the workshop Fighting Poverty and Engaging Conservation Through Sounds 2010.
Thank you very much. And you just listened to a young girl who was saying that the Nigerian community here is totally very angry. Covered all the aspects of various techniques of our journal. This was the Ijaw country of the Niger Delta of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He went to several schools. His major academic genesis was at the government college, Ujeli.
Go gather, destroy their food. With the camp and that other camp, some more camp. You don't compensate everybody. But some of
sometimes. Today our focus will be in the style of J.P. Clark, a poet and writer, and we shall also be very interested in his poem Akmo Dancer.
It's something that needs to be exploited. Some lives are meaningful, some are empty. Lives that are meaningful, with too much meaning and riches to offer humankind. After some of these earthly adventures and more, one can still find footprints of these great lives on the pavements of our contemporary lives.
Good evening, you're welcome to the program Green Planet.